Yay! It's Friday stroke Saturday, depending on where you are in the world. I'm Daniel Mangena, Dreamer CEO. I am very excited to be sharing some space with you today. Just going to make sure that I've got everything I need to actually know what I'm doing. Yes, this is it. Excellent. Going to give you guys a chance to hop on and join me live. Whilst we're doing that, I'm going to share some information for people that are watching this on a replay and therefore are not being waited for because you watched it from the beginning. Make sure that you stay to the end. I will be giving you a really cool gift today. Let me hear in the comments anyone who actually grabbed the Universal Laws video series that I shared with you last week and have watched any of them and got anything out of it. Pop it in the comments. Can't wait to hear from you. This week's is even better. So be excited. Yes. I'm making some time for Q&A today as well. I really want to get some questions from you guys and make sure I'm serving you at the highest level and really giving you the opportunity to integrate, apply, and start living something off the back of what I'm sharing with you in these sessions, which there are months more of. So I'm really excited. We're going to keep delving in deeper and understanding how we can start deliberately living more abundant, joyful, purpose driven lives. That's what I'm about. Very excited. Without further ado, shall we get into it? Okay, so for those of you who are seeing me for the first time, have no idea who this crazy Brit is, I'm Daniel Mangena. I've written a couple of books. I do some speaking. I have a podcast. Overall, what I do is empower you guys to live kick-ass lives. That's what I get to do on a daily basis. It fills me up, it lights me up, it excites me, it rejuvenates and revitalizes me. And I'm very excited to be doing that in this series of classes that I hold at the same time every week. I'm here. If you're watching this on a replay, it would mean the world to me for you to say, hey, I'm watching this on a replay. If you are watching this live, then go ahead and let me know that you're watching it live. I want to know who you are, which I can see by your name, so you don't need to say that again, and where you're watching in from. We've got people from all over the world that watched last week's initial class, which is very exciting. Very exciting. Some of you shared this. I freaking love that. You're a rock star. I would love to have today's shared if it also resonates with you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, let me know how so that we can dial this in and make sure you get the most out of this time. As promised, today we're going to be talking a little bit about the heart. I've made some notes to make sure that I cover the things that I want to cover, because as you'll see from the comment descriptioning thingy, I really want to feed you guys some amazingly wonderful stuff. In order to do that, I need you to tune in. So I want you to take a moment to ground, settle, connect with this place in the center of your chest that we call the heart, and allow yourself to receive what we're going to be sharing today. Because I have no doubt that some of the things that we're going to cover may make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. It was designed to do that because through that discomfort, we will experience growth and expansion. Growth and expansion. So hello to people watching live. Thank you so much. Oh, hi Zoe. Jenny, you're in from London. Isn't it like the middle of the night for you? That's absolutely gangster. Celebrating you for doing that. That's amazing. Um, let's get into it. What we're going to learn today. So we're going to learn who decides what we actually want. Some of us think that we're choosing what we want and what we desire. And the sad fact that I'm going to be sharing with you today is that you are not. And we're going to delve into that and how we can start doing something about it. I'm going to take you into a visualization that's going to tune you into your heart and allow you to hear what your heart has to say. There may be a clue there as to part one. Did you enjoy last week's visualization? If you did, let me know in the comments. We're going to be going live again today with some visualization to listen to the heart. I'm going to be explaining to you, and people get upset with this one, when surrender is a bad idea. We're going to talk about that, and also when surrender is a good idea and how to effectively take the beauty of surrender and allow it to support an amazing, abundant, joyful, purpose-driven life. So we're going to be doing that. I'm going to be covering why you want to fail. Okay. Again, not so comfortable an idea, but we're going to be getting to that. So, who decides what you want? We're going to do a visualization to get you guys tuned into your heart so that you can hear your heart. Hey, Andrea. And working. Okay. Hey, Tammy from South Australia. We're going to be looking at when surrender is a bad idea and how to tune into surrendering in an empowered way. We're going to look at why you want to fail. Again, very uncomfortable, but I promise you, if you stick with me, stay to the end, not only do you get a lovely gift, but you will understand how to consciously decide what you want. You will know how to listen to your heart. You will understand how to optimally surrender. You will stop wanting to fail so that you stop failing. And we'll do a Q&A. Okay, notes are over there. This is me. I want, guys, my whole thing, my entire MO, my modus operandi, my modus operandi, the reason why I do this stuff is because I want you guys to live abundant, joyful, purpose-driven lives. I want you to really tune in and soak up the goodness of the life that's available to you. However, if you're not prepared to accept the gift of you being able to shift the choices that we're making consciously and unconsciously, then it's going to be very challenging for you to tap into the beauty of that opportunity. So we're going to talk about that today. And that's really what we're going to be doing over the next few months in various different aspects and going through different angles. I know what we're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about demystifying the mystical and why you need to stop meditating. But that's for another time. Okay. Problem that we're going to be looking at today is this whole idea of desire and want. We're going to be separating the idea of desire and the idea of want, because where shame, blame, self-beating up and all this stuff comes from is the misconception that desire and want are the same thing. They are not. What's the difference between the two? Essentially, the key difference is where it comes from. We are not a singular operating one-dimensional creature. We're not one-dimensional creatures. We have different aspects, different elements, different parts of ourselves, different sides of ourselves, different dimensions of ourselves. And it's when we start to take in these different aspects, and in taking those aspects, start to step into dominion in how we apply our relationship to these aspects, we can start to bring it together and deliberately live our lives. Does that mean that everything's going to be rosy? No. That's a little thing called contrast, which is the happy byproduct of living in a dualistic reality. Dualism is an ugly, persistent truth of operating at a physical density. Do we have to have contrast and dualism? No. But if we didn't have contrast and dualism, we would no longer be physical, because that's one of the aspects of being physical. So I remind you that even Jesus lost his rag and started throwing things over in the temple. So stuff's going to happen. Does that take away from anything in our experience? No. Does that mean that we don't have dominion? No. Does that mean that we are to start beating ourselves up for being responsible for what we created? No, because we're not responsible for what we created per se, so much as responsible for what we actually call in as an outcome. And an outcome isn't even the physical thing. The physical experience is not the outcome that we're calling in. It's the emotional state on the other side of it. And we have no control over how we get there. So what we need to do, we're going to start looking at how to do that today, is be deliberate in what we are calling in as an emotional outcome. And when we're deliberate on what we're calling in as an emotional outcome, we can start to express creative dominion over where we go, but we will never have control over the steps that take us there. All right. So shall we start with this want and desire thing and get into it a bit more. Where are the two places? Where are the two places? Well, we have it often said conscious and unconscious, conscious and unconscious, conscious and unconscious. That's a good place to start. Let's start there. Conscious and unconscious. Now, I personally, and this is just my humble human opinion, don't believe that the unconscious mind is part of our physical aspect. I believe that the unconscious mind is a metaphysical aspect of ourselves. And by that, by metaphysical, I just mean beyond the physical. I don't think it's part of our actual physical wiring. I also don't believe that there is as big a separation between the two as we're sometimes told. What I actually think is going on, ultimately, is that we seed the garden of the unconscious with our conscious thoughts, and then we get fruits. Now, some people will have you saying that, oh, you know, we don't have any control and we should just surrender and take it in and blah, blah, blah. But when we start to look at the way the universe works, and those of you who actually use the free gift I gave you last week and listen to some of the universal laws, will start to see that there is a structure and a framework within which everything works here in physical reality. And if we start to look at the rules that govern the construct of physical reality and start playing along with those rules, then we can actually start to have a little bit more deliberate expression in our lives. What does that look like? First of all, it looks like, what are we plugging into the system? And by what we plug into the system, I mean, what do we want? Not what do we desire, what do we want? Because the want is what really is going to be expressed. The unconscious mind, it's been scientifically demonstrated, operates at 10,000 to 10 million times the speed of the conscious mind. So the conscious mind, where I believe our desires sit, 10,000 to 10 million times the speed. So in 1 second, we've had 10,000 to 10 million unconscious seconds. That's a lot faster. So when we have unconscious things sitting there, right, what we really want unconsciously, what we're consciously desiring, just there's no competition. That's like, I don't know, me trying to race. Is Usain Bolt still the fastest guy in the world? Well, he's a very fast runner. Me trying to race that guy is not going to work. He's going to win. I'm going to lose. That's just the way it is. Now, does that mean that I should cry about the fact that Usain Bolt is faster than me? No. What it means is I should let Usain Bolt run. And I should, I don't know, something I do. I should play chess or play my guitar. Maybe he's going to beat me at chess too. But for the purpose of this analogy, I'm going to say I'm a better chess player than Usain Bolt. I stay in my lane. Now, in relation to creation, what it means is that we need to start to build a relationship with our unconscious mind that allows us to seed it with what we desire, so that that's what goes into the system. We are always creating. That's something that you're going to hear a lot from me over the next few weeks and months that we're going to be together. We are always creating. The challenge is, does that creation happen consciously or unconsciously, from want or from desire? And it's always going to be, at the end of the day, even if we consciously desire it, it's going to be what we unconsciously accept and believe. Again, that's something we're going to talk about later. I don't want you to get too lost on that. What I want you to do, air conditioning leaking, what I want you to do is come to this point of acceptance of the fact that, number one, we are more than just physical flesh. And if you're watching this and you're tuned into this page, you probably get that. Number two, we can't control, but we can create. We can't control, but we can create. Again, I'm planting some seeds for things we're going to talk about later in our time together. But for now, I want to sit with this. We can't control, but we do always create. That creation is not always conscious, but it is always happening. The beauty of it, we can develop a relationship with that unconscious seat of creation, so that what we create starts to reflect what we actually desire. Ergo, who decides what we want? We do, but not always at a conscious level. Going forward, I'm going to teach you some tips, hacks, and strategies to start making that relationship happen. For now, what we're going to start doing is diving in and bringing a level of awareness to this disconnect that sometimes happens between what we want and what we desire. So, remember, guys, at the end, I'm going to be giving you a tool to start listening into some stuff and other grooviness. So, don't run away. Stay and listen to me. Okay. When did I realize this was the case? Okay, I actually did a group call for one of my programs just now. And hey, Yvonne, and I think I saw Lisa as well, L-Dubs. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Dot, if you can't hear me, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure why that's happening. Hey, Misty. Hey, Jay from Cronula. Dot. Wow. Sending you loads and loads of love, Dot. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what that was to have gone through that. I'm really, really sorry to hear that. Can we all send some love dots away? If you're watching this on the replay as well, can we get some love hearts and some love to Dot, because she just shared a very, very tragic loss. Holding space for you. Sorry to hear that. Just taking a moment just to hold space for Dot, and then we're going to tune in. Thank you. I had a really interesting experience. I'm 36 now. When I was about 20, I had a mentor called Patrick. And I was going through this period in my life where some things were going right and some things just weren't going right at all. And what actually happened as I went through that journey is, and again, I was mentioning this on my group call a moment ago, I kept playing out this same pattern over and over and over again, where I kept learning lessons. Whether it was losing money or having a bad relationship or having a fallout with someone. And I was always taking the beauty of it. I was, oh yeah, this, I've learned a lesson from that. But what actually happened when my mentor asked me a question, he said, when are you going to stop learning your lessons and just sort of get on with life? When's school going to be out for you? And I realized that I'd been playing out an unconscious pattern of me repeating this idea that I have to learn lessons and have to learn them the hard way. And that unconscious pattern started to play out in the things that I was doing. It was playing out in the choices that I was making. It was playing out in the people that I was having relationships with, the businesses that I was going into. It was playing out over and over and over again, and it was making life bloody miserable. But here's the thing. I didn't want to be miserable, but I wanted to be miserable. I didn't want to be miserable, but I wanted to be miserable. And what this comes down to is an idea that I share a lot with some of the guys here that are familiar with my work. They'll know this, is that the mind does not lose. I'm going to say that again. The mind does not lose. There is absolutely nothing in your experience right now that on some level of mind you have not been aligned with or called in. Now, again, this isn't something that we like to hear, because we're going to say, I didn't want to be sexually assaulted. I didn't want my house to be broken into. I didn't want to experience loss. I don't want to be sad and broke. I don't want to be in lack. I want to be happy. I wanted my marriage to work. I don't want kids that are awful. I didn't want these things. But we're not talking about what you desire. We're talking about what you unconsciously want. And what you unconsciously want doesn't come from a desire. It comes from programming. It doesn't come from, this is what I fancy my house being broken into today. That's exactly what I want. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is an imprint of programs that support the experience of these things, whether desirable or undesirable, whether uplifting or downbringing, whether expansive or contractive. It's a matter of, these things being programmed into ourselves. Again, planting seeds for what we're going to be doing over our time together over the coming weeks and months. I will show you how to stop creating what you don't want. So don't freak out. What we're doing today is bringing some awareness to this underlying narrative of the separation between want and desire, between conscious and unconscious, between what we want and what we desire. I think I said that already. And between between the inner world and outer world. Because by separating these things and starting to see them for what they really are, we can start to take the gift of creative dominion, apply it to that, and have what we ultimately are expanded by, lifted by, grow through, grow from, and experience goodness from. But it starts with identifying that we, as the author and creator of our lives, can choose the outcome. If we start to reject that on any level, then of course, blaming someone else is a lot easier. Being sad and hopeless is a lot easier. Surrendering to the flow of disempowerment is a lot easier. But there's a beauty to deliberately creating your life. And we're going to look at that today and going on to the future. So what happened? What happened is that I listened to Patrick's advice. I caught myself and started to listen to me going down that disempowering path of saying, oh, it's another lesson I'm going to learn, blah, 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 and tuning in to what I was feeling at the point of decision. You see, moment to moment, we're always offered the opportunity to make new choices in what we're stepping into. Now, that does demand that we have a level of awareness. Cue today's visualization and also today's gift. But when we bring that level of awareness to the way we live our lives, then what starts to happen is as those old programs start stepping in, we can start stepping up and saying, oh, okay, so you're from the old program where I used to think that I had to go through a hard lesson in order to expand. You're from that old program where I needed to be validated by being in a disempowering relationship. Oh, you're from that old program where the only way that I could feel love is because I needed to be a victim. And so I'd call in experiences that made me a victim so that I can share the story with people and then they can say, woe is me, and then I can feel good about myself. We can see the program, we can sidestep the program, and we can step into something else. Is that always easy? No. Is it always as simple as a new choice? Yes, the universe is a very simple place. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to drop into a visualization with you guys now. So I'm going to invite you, if you like to cover your eyes, get your eyes covered. If you want to lie down. If you want to sit up, sit up. But we're going to tune in and we're going to do a visualization, and then we're going to take the yummy juice of that visualization and step into the rest of today's class. We're going to look at surrender and why it's sometimes a bad idea. We're going to look at why you want to fail and how to unravel that. Send it up again. I'm going to do. There's a lot of going on in the chat. Guys, keep popping in the chat. And what I promise I'm going to do is after the visualization and another little section of some teaching, I'm going to come back to the comments and make sure that I get through those comments and questions. We're going to have a question time. If you're watching this on a replay, go ahead and pop those questions on. I will come back and check this. It would be great if you tag me. My page is somewhere in the description. Tag me, follow me, send messages. Love to connect with you guys. Go on the website and all that good groovy stuff. So with that being said, hopefully we've given you guys some time to get ready for this. I'm going to invite you to just drop in, allowing the sound and the shape and the rhythm of my words to be what you just fall into right now. Allow yourself to experience yourself as yourself. Allow yourself to connect with the breath as it enters and leaves your body. Allow that breath to be directed to fill your stomach and then your chest, filling you up with a warm, juicy, loving ray of light. holding, releasing, emptying, and relaxing. And pausing before. Once again, breathing in, filling your stomach, filling your chest, filling up, filling up, filling up, hold. And as you hold, allow your mind to imagine the number 3. Breathe out, relax, 3, relax, 3, relax, 3, and pause. And just allow your lungs to remain empty. Breathing in once more, filling the stomach, filling that radiant chest, allowing, filling, imagining now the number 2, pause, relax, release, breathing out now, 2, at peace and relaxed, 2, at peace and relaxed, 2, and allow your lungs to remain empty. Pausing, relaxing, breathing in, filling the stomach, filling the chest, present, aware, relaxed, filling up now, imagining a beautiful plant or flower. Anyone is perfect, all is okay, hold, release, breathe out, relax, at peace, here and present, relax, here at peace, released and present, relax. Allow your lungs to remain empty. And breathing in now at your own pace, allowing the directions up until this moment to be the guide for your desire to step into a present awareness of your body as you breathe in, relaxed, pause, tuned in, breathe out at peace, and pause before breathing in again and allowing your breath to become the keeper of time and the anchor to this experience as we let go of our bodies for just a moment and tune in to the expression of ourselves that moves beyond that which we experience and know and witness with our senses, and all sounds, all noises, all experiences encroaching on this time only serve to bring us to a deeper state of present awareness, and any input into our senses now just serves to cause us to detach more from this physical reality and to tune in to the opportunity to step beyond the physical reality that we call our life experience and connect with something greater and deeper, as I invite you to follow the count that I present to you now. A downward count from 10, dropping in at 9, dropping in at 8, dropping deeper at 7, allowing at 6, present at 5, whole at 4, at 1, 3, coming into the heart, 2, gathering your presence, your awareness and your attention in the center of your chest, 1, drop in and relax. I invite you to take this moment to be aware of your body and the radiance of energy reverberating around your physical presence as you call your attention to that space in the center of your chest, and breathing in, pausing, breathing out, relaxing and allowing. Make the breath the anchor to this point in time as I invite you to imagine yourself standing on the bank of a river. Shoes off, dressed in radiant white, embodying your higher self here at this point in time. Notice that you feel the wet mud beneath your feet, the warm sun above you, the rustle of the trees around you, the gentle scent of nature, the river gently moving, and before you now is a boat. And driving the boat is a being of blue light, and this being of blue light invites you to step into the boat and join, and here you, safe, relaxed, at peace, stepping into the boat, leaving the bank of the river, stepping into the boat on the river as you, at peace, relaxed, present, aware, breathing gently, noticing that you really like it here. Gently moving along the river that we now understand to be a representation of the illusion that we humans have constructed and called time. The river never touches the same place twice, and everything is perfect. There are bends and there are twists and there are drops and there are rises, but everything is perfect. You're relaxed, you're present, you're aware, you're surrendered. But in your knowing, you understand that the destination is sure, the destination is certain, the destination is your highest and greatest good in the full expansiveness of every abundant desire that could ever become. And so, dropping deeper once again, I invite you to imagine yourself lying back on this boat here in your mind's eye. And as you travel along the river of time, join me as we count down once again, taking this inner journey one step deeper into the inner recesses of infinite possibility, and count from 5, dropping in, 4, dropping in, 3, feeding your heart within your heart, 2, 1, and everything is black. You are surrounded by the infinite void of infinite possibility, this infinite void of possibility that's yours because you are infinite, and having transcended the barrier of the river of time, the illusion that we constructed in our failed attempt to step into more of ourselves, but actually letting go of the more of ourselves that's here in this infinite void of blackness, and we start to allow ourselves to feel the radiance of oneness with the infinite potential of our oneness with the all that's here in this void of infinite blackness, this infinite space of possible outcomes. And notice that in this infinite void there shines a star in the distance. And that as you sit and sit and sit and sit and sit and connect, that the distance becomes an illusion that becomes a disappearance of space, and you are that star of light. Connecting to it. Allow the center of your chest to be awakened as it guides you to this experience of the light within the darkness, and you, connecting to this space, allow yourself to be filled with the radiant beauty of the star that you are, and from this space allow yourself to be purged of anything that fails to connect to this perfect expression of infinite possibility that represents the truth of who you are here and now, unbridled and not held back. Breathing in, experiencing, knowing, being a part of this infinite possibility, calling in the oneness that you are. Breathe in. Soak in the light. And find yourself back on the boat. Empowered. Fully charged and embodying the wholeness of the shining star from infinite possibility. And as you lie on the boat, traveling back along the river of time, allow yourself to notice a gentle hum, and allowing your attention to look around you for the source of this hum. Notice that the hum comes from you. And bringing your focus and awareness more closely to the source of this hum, you notice that the center of your chest is a light. Feel it. Experience it. And allow that buzz to become a tingle. That tingle to become a warmth. That warmth to become a screaming expression that fills your chest with the radiant, juicy, yummy feeling of expansion, and allow it to consume you now. The light that you carried from the infinite void of possibility to consume you now, here, as you travel along the river of time in your radiant white robe, gently experiencing a surrender to the river of time. And calling that in now, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. As I count from 1 to 5, I'd like you to start to feel the transcending from this experience of being in the river of time, carrying with you the beauty of this experience, the radiance of your robes, the power of this witnessing of your heart speaking to you, the sound of that radiant star from the void of infinite possibilities, as you carry all of that down through the ethers and start to embody it in your physical expression. With every ascending number, allow the intensity in your physical chest to start to move from tingle to warmth, from warmth to expression and expansion, as you fully embody this message from the infinite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wide awake, in perfect health, feeling better than before, ready to carry the gifts of this experience into your physical reality. Okay, beautiful people, welcome back. I'm going to give you guys a moment to settle in. I'm going to tune a little bit too, and then I'm going to explain what we did and how that fits into what we're going to do next. There's been some comments in the meantime. We'll get to those during the Q&A section. So, what were we doing? Well, what we were doing is starting to connect with a deeper aspect of our whole being. And what we did was we went into the void of infinite possibility and started to connect with our purpose, our soul spark, our divine essence. And we brought that back through different levels of consciousness into our physical body. Why is it important that we did that? Because most of us, I think Bruce Lipton says 95% of the time, are running on unconscious programs, almost a discernible pollution of our essence by what we've taken in through our environment. And what that starts to do is to muddy our discernment of what actually makes up the truth of who we are. And as that muddiness becomes more and more insidious in our experience, we lose sight of the light that we actually represent. We can start to get caught up in egoic desires. We can start to get caught up in other people's stories about what we're supposed to be and lose our connection to the true source of who we are. But by starting to listen to our heart and that spark that we've reignited into you today, you'll allow yourself to be guided to actually listening to what the soul truly desires to experience. So no longer caught up in the unconscious, but stepping into an expression of our true nature, breathing out and through us. Now, the gift that I have for you today is a visualization that I created called Entering the Heart Space. And the reason why I want to give you guys that is because I'd like you to do that once a day. It's about 3 or 4 minutes long. It's not very long. I'd like you to spend some time with that visualization and allow that visualization to continue the work of the activation visualization we did today and create a space for you to actually communicate with your heart. We're going to talk more about the heart over our time together. Suffice to say that the heart is the portal, the gateway, the mode of communication to the higher levels of ourself. Not the physical heart that beats blood around our body, but the heart center, the energy center in our chest. And that's the gateway to experience. If we want to get really metaphysical, it's the point of separation between the lower three centers and the higher three physical centers, and the energy portals that are there. It's the point of separation between the material and the immaterial plane, which we start to access with our fifth, sixth, seventh, and beyond centers. But we'll talk about that another time. So we've activated that portal, and we've actually done the work of tuning it in to our soul spark. So you are now activated to be able to listen to the heart and hear what it has to say. And by listening to that, we can start to create a separation between what we think we want and what we really want, because we can start to learn to trust that. Now, I spoke about when it's a bad idea to surrender, or I said I'm going to speak about when it's a bad idea to surrender. It's a bad idea to surrender most of the time, because when you haven't done the work of clearing what you're surrendering to, then your act of surrender is just going to be a submission to your unconscious programs. I'm going to say it again. When we haven't done the work of clearing what we're surrendering to, then surrender is actually little more than submission to your unconscious programs. You see, when we're not consciously choosing what we're moving towards, we're reverting back to our default. And if our default is what we're running on 95% of the time, then the mind, which doesn't lose, is representing what we're actually calling in 95% of the time. And when that's not what we want, surrendering to it isn't really going to be in our best interest, because it's already shown us that it's not really giving us what we really want. And again, it's not a matter of blame. It's a matter of understanding that the unconscious programs that we've been running most of our life are the thing that is going to be coming up and going out at that point of surrender. So instead of surrendering, what I'm going to invite you to do is start choosing. Okay? I'm going to invite you to start choosing, but I want you to start doing that choosing from the point of contact through the heart. I want you to start listening to your heart. We've activated your heart now so that it's got a pure, unadulterated, untainted connection to your soul spark. And now that we've done that, listening to the heart is going to empower you to start creating an environment for yourself that you can surrender to. I'm going to say that again. Now that we've done that work, we can start to open up ourselves so what we're surrendering to is actually for our highest and greatest good. Can everything be for our good? Yes. But it's important to understand that sometimes we're human. And as humans, we can make mistakes in what we choose. But it's important not to beat ourselves up in that, but instead to take the opportunity to see what we've created and allow it to inform what we want to create going forward. Do I want to keep doing this? No. Okay. I'm going to make a new choice. But again, taking the opportunity to tune into the heart and allow the heart to guide what those choices are is where it is at. Why do you really want to fail? You don't really want to fail. It's because you've been trained to fail and you've been running on unconscious programs of failure. Why do you really want lack? You don't really want lack. It's just learnt behavior. The mind is a perfect executing machine, perfectly executing exactly the instructions that it's been given. Now, through the heart, we can start to get a new set of instructions to give. And we're going to look more over the coming weeks and months on how to give those instructions. But it begins with building a relationship with the heart. Last week, I gave you the universal laws. dreamwithdan.com/laws. That's going to give you the construct within which we're creating. Today, we've activated the heart. And I'm going to give you guys the link to go and grab a visualization I've created. It's completely free. That's going to keep that connection open and empower you to start building a relationship to listening to the heart so that you can start to get the new instructions that we're going to start to learn how to program into our experience over the coming weeks and months. Next week, we're going to be looking at demystifying the mystical and why you need to stop meditating, but we'll talk about that next week. What I want to do now, however, is take some questions from you guys and see how we can start to cement today's learning, integrate it, and start building a lovely relationship with the heart and the soul spark that we've activated today. So I'm going to flick through the comments first. Feel free to pop in the questions. And guys, if you are watching this on a replay, please do let me know in the comments that it's a replay, that you're watching on a replay. And ask your questions. Ask questions. And if this has resonated with you, or you think that someone in your world, on your social media world, needs to activate their soul spark too, please do share this broadcast so that more people can start tuning into the heart and creating what they actually desire. So, do you give readings here, and do you get drawn to people? I don't give readings, Jay. I can read. I've done a lot of work in cultivating my spiritual gifts. I do use the reading of energy in my work with people, but I like to set a very sacred space for that. With my group programs, I do sometimes ask to tune in to reading. Yvonne's here. She was on the program call earlier, and I did actually tune into her to ask a question. But I think for me personally, reading people's energy and jumping into people's energy is not something that should be done willy-nilly. It does require, I think, for me personally, a relationship to be established, because energetic bodies can be very delicate things if not handled properly, and it's important to really bring a level of awareness when messing around with energy and energy bodies. So giving readings isn't something that I do willy-nilly. I do use that gift when working with people, but generally only when there's an existing relationship. So, hi, went JUS. I don't understand that, sorry. Hey, Kerry, thanks for tuning in from BC. Yeah, Yvonne, I thought you'd laugh about that. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks for sharing with Carrie, Zoe. Appreciate that. It's my absolute pleasure, Doc. Absolute pleasure. Okay, so we've got makes sense to clear all parts of the body. My heart's surrounded to my own choice of life. It's always been on the shelf for everyone else to use. Now I've taken my life back. My husband doesn't like it. Basically, I have one choice with him, fully or not at all, whatever that means. All I know is that I don't feel the weight of his world on me. Yeah. So here's the thing. And again, I encourage you to tune into the gift I gave away last week, which is dreamwithdan.com/laws. That will take you into the universal law. There's a universal law called the law of vibration. And what the law of vibration says is that we can only experience what we're a vibrational match to. And what that ends up meaning is that sometimes as we go through our world, people that we were resonating with before, we no longer resonate with. So sometimes people see that shift and it doesn't feel comfortable for them to see. So they'll try and pull you in or pull you down. Also, because we're creating unconsciously, sometimes we'll actually create situations that try and drag us back because our unconscious mind is trying to create what it feels comfortable with. We're going to talk a lot more about the mind over our time together. But suffice to say, when you expand, things around you have to change or fall away. And that's scary sometimes because we're used to the familiar. Someone that I was working with recently, had a relationship end that they knew had to end, but as they did more work, the relationship just fell away, like in a really dramatic fashion, like disappeared, like person gone from their life. And that was uncomfortable. So I don't want you to start feeling bad about missing people, places, and things that fall away, or to feel uncomfortable with the prospect of things falling away, or for that to make you feel scared about growth. It's important to understand that you will always be met with something better. As you're growing, you start to step into new levels and new things can come into your life. Sometimes the blessings waiting for us are being held back from us because we're not allowing ourselves to be open to the new things because we're holding on to the old. So be okay with the unknown that we sometimes have to witness in that journey between where we are and where we're going. Okay, thank you for sharing, Misty. Okay, I couldn't find my glasses. Oh, wow. I'm really, really, really sorry to hear that, Jay. Again, sending you so much love. Sending you so much love. Guys, there's sometimes a lot of challenges that we're going to face in this thing that we call life. And it's really important that you take the time to resource yourself for the journey. Sometimes we step into personal development and we're like, love and light, I'm going to go and meditate in fairy dust. Personal development, stepping into a new life is not easy work. In fact, there's been a lot of times when I've said to people, don't even bother. Stay living a completely 3D, matter to matter reality. Because stepping into this work and not being ready to be a warrior of light is... Anyway, I'm going to say this. Be ready to be a warrior of light. Okay, challenges are going to come. Some people are going to go through the dark night of the soul. But I don't want you to look at these things as negative. I want you to look at them as gifts. Gifts that are revealing the fact that we are moving into a new experience. Okay? It's a gift. Gifts don't always look like gifts. Sometimes gifts are really ugly packaging. But the really cool thing about the universe that we live in is that every moment is an opportunity to step into greater expansion. And expansion isn't always comfortable and it's not always pretty, but it's always amazing on the other side. So for those of you who are going through really challenging times, and I really honor everyone who's been sharing the really challenging things that they're going through at the moment, I want you to be gentle with yourself. I want you to know that you are loved and supported infinitely, and that you freaking got this, because we will never, ever, ever be faced with something that we don't have the resources to step up and shine through. Okay? So thank you so much. Hey, Shawnee. Nice to see you here. Leah, can I ask what your page or website is so that I can follow you? Dreamwithdan.com. Dream, D-R-E-A-M, with W-I-T-H, Dan, D-A-N.com. I'm also on social media as Dreamer CEO. That's Twitter and Instagram, and we post there a lot. So thanks for tuning in, Leah. This is my first time meeting you. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the experience. What's your page here from Aussie? Hey, Debbie. Yeah, it's Dreamer CEO. You can check me out, Daniel Mangena. If you look in the description, then there's a link to my Facebook page. There's loads of stuff there, but dreamwithdan.com is my my main place. Everything's there, books and podcasts and all that good stuff. So thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Sorry, I had brain yeah, sending you so much love, Jay. Seriously, it's a big one, But if you can show up and come every week, I'm taking it step by step. I'm really, really breaking down this whole idea of creating our realities step by step. Last week we looked at the constructs and what we're building in. Today we started to look at the heart. Next week we're going to look at spirit and demystifying the mystical and kind of making all this stuff a bit more tangible, a little bit more practical. So please, if you can, even if you can't show us live, come and join the replay. We will get there and give you some support. Okay? Thanks, Shawnee. Thanks, L-Dubs. Yay. Hi, Samantha. Thanks for tuning in. Brilliant. Fabulous. Okay, guys. Well, if there are no more questions, I want to let you guys get on with your Saturday / Friday. Next week, we're going to look at demystifying the mystical. I am Jay. I'm here same time. We'll look at demystifying the mystical and why you need to stop meditating. Another controversial one, I'm sure, but looking forward to sharing it with you. Once again, the gift. So if you go to dreamwithdan.com/HC, I'm going to pop it here. dreamwithdan.com/HC. That's going to take you to entering the heart center. It's a little visualization I created again. It's 3 or 4 minutes long. Go ahead and do that once a day and just take the time to tune into your heart and listen to what it has to say. There is no need to rush. We're going to be here for a good few more weeks yet. We're going to take this in baby steps. We are going to take these baby steps all the way to living more abundant, joyful, purpose-driven lives. You guys have got this. I'm really excited to connect with you guys, especially those I'm meeting including those I'm meeting for the first time. I can see everyone that knows me like, what about me? We'll be back here next week. Share, like, comment, comment, comment. Tune in again next time. Remember, guys, you can consciously choose a more abundant, joyful, purpose-driven life. Keep dreaming with your eyes open. I'm Daniel Mangena. It's been my absolute pleasure to hang out with you today, and I will catch you next time. Bye for now.